Hello everyone, welcome back to Foot Forecast. In today's video, I'm going to be going for my Premier League predictions for Game Week 31, as well as talking about the League Cup final between Manchester City and Arsenal. And the first game is between Bournemouth and Manchester United on the Friday night. Bournemouth have drawn their last 4 games and United have won their last 3 games out of 5. Bournemouth are 10th place in the table going to this game. Manchester United are playing well right now in 3rd place, and they've been performing a lot better since Carrick's come in as the manager. For this game, I see Bournemouth ending this draw streak, but the reason why is because I think Manchester United will win. I'm going to go with a 3-1 away win for United over Bournemouth. Then we're on to the next game, which is between Brighton and Liverpool. As I always say with Brighton, it's difficult to predict their games. They usually pick up points in the games that you don't expect. But overall, I don't think they've had a great season, have Brighton. I think they expected better, and that's resulted in Hurtsler being under a bit of pressure. Looking at Liverpool, equally, Liverpool haven't had a good season. Their season's a lot worse. They're currently 5th place in the Premier League, but they did go through in the Champions League against Galatasaray, winning 4-0. Do I expect Liverpool to perform at the same level against Galatasaray? No, because that's been a problem for Liverpool all season, is consistency. But I could still see them getting a good result in this game away at Brighton. I sometimes think with Brighton, when sides play them, they're a bit naive in terms of they're playing out from the back, and often you can get at them with a good high press, which Liverpool do have. So I'm going to go with a Liverpool win in this game. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for Liverpool over Brighton. What I want to see from Liverpool in this game is an attacking approach like the Galatasaray game, when they go 1-0 up, searching for the second, searching for the third goal, and trying to kill off games as soon as possible, because a problem for Liverpool all season has been conceding late goals. And if you're 2-3 goals ahead, it doesn't matter if you concede late. So I think that's what Liverpool need to do. So then we're on to the next game, which is between Fulham and Burnley. Fulham going to this game are in interesting form. In their last 3 games in all competitions, they haven't picked up a win. But then previously, they'd won their last 3 games in all competitions. But before that, they lost their last 3 games. So it's mixed form for Fulham going into this game. For Burnley, I think there's been some signs of maybe life, but it hasn't resulted in great results because they haven't won in their last 5 in all competitions. And let's be honest, Burnley are down, and this should be a simple win for Fulham over Burnley. I'm going to go with a 2-0 win for Fulham over Burnley. I think they pick up a win in this game. So then we're on to the next game, which is between Everton and Chelsea. Everton haven't been great at home all season. They rank 14th on the home table. Looking at Chelsea in terms of their away record, they rank 2nd. So straight away you may favour the Chelsea win, but Reece James is out for them, which is a crucial injury. But Everton also have players out for this game, which could affect them. Looking at the recent form of the two sides going to this game, Everton's form's mixed. They picked up 2 wins in their last 5. Looking at Chelsea's form going to this game, it's poor. They've only picked up 5 points from 5 games, and they've now been dumped out of the Champions League by PSG, losing 8-2 on aggregate. But despite this, I think Chelsea do win this game away from home. They've just got more quality than a side like Everton. And as I said, Chelsea are a good side on the road. Everton are a poor side at home. I'm going to go with a 2-1 away win for Chelsea in this game. So then we're on to the next game, which is between Leeds and Brentford. Leeds are in 15th place in the league going to this game. Brentford are in 7th place. And crucially, this game is at Ellen Road, which gives Leeds more of a chance. But they have lost their last 2 games at home 1-0, which is disappointing for Leeds United, because before this, they had a really good record at home, especially under the lights at home. But I still think the home advantage will be big for them in this game, because Ellen Road will be well and truly behind the Leeds players. Looking at Brentford, they have started to struggle a bit. They don't look as good as they did sort of halfway through the season. They picked up a couple of draws recently to sides like Wolves at home. So I think Leeds can get at Brentford in this game. I think I'm going to go with a draw between these two sides. Leeds have drawn a lot of games so far this season. It's been one of their main problems in terms of converting draws into wins. And Brentford, as I just said, have drawn their last 2 games in the league. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw between Leeds and Brentford. So then we're on to the next game between Newcastle and Sunderland in the Tyne Weird derby. I'm excited for this. I do love this derby. It's definitely one of the best in the country. And Newcastle are coming off a really poor result away at Barcelona, losing 7-2. Losing to Barcelona is no disgrace, but losing by 5 goals and conceding 7 is a real problem in terms of confidence going into a massive game. But this game is at St James's, so I would consider Newcastle favourites going to this game. Looking at Sunderland, their form has definitely dropped off since the start of the season. I don't think this is really a surprise. It was going to be hard for Sunderland to keep this up till the rest of the season, and their away form is a concern for this game. They're ranked 17th place on the away table, so it's going to be difficult for them to go to St James's and pick up a win. And I think Sunderland may lose this game. I'm going to go with the Newcastle win. I'm going to go with a 1-0 win for Newcastle over Sunderland. I could see it being quite a nervy game, and I think it could be decided by a moment of magic or someone being at fault for a goal, like Voltemata was in the reverse fixture. Then we're on to the next game, which is between Villa and West Ham. And Villa going to this game are in poor form. They've really struggled recently in the league, and they've started to tail off. And why is this? Well, it's the midfield Villa are having to play due to injuries. When McGinn, when Tielemans, when Kamara all fit, Villa are a completely different side. And right now it looks like only McGinn will be available for this game. And they're going up against a West Ham side who've been picking up some decent results recently and crucially looking like a side that's showing some fight that we didn't really see in the first half of the season. As Nuno often does, he has turned around that side and made them into a decent Premier League side. The problem for West Ham going to this game is that Somerville is likely to be out with a calf injury, so that could affect them. But I still think West Ham win this game. I'm going to go with a 1-0 away win for West Ham over Aston Villa. Villa are in Europe as well, which could affect them going to this game, and I just don't back Villa right now with the form they're in. So then we're on to the next game, which is between Spurs and Nottingham Forest. And this game is absolutely crucial for the relegation battle. Both sides absolutely desperate for a win. Spurs haven't won since last year in the league. Looking at Forest, the last time Forest won in the league was all the way back in January. So neither side has won the league in over a month. So it's absolutely crucial for both sides that they get something from this game. And if West Ham win, this will mean whoever loses out of this game will go into the relegation zone. And both sides have players out for this game, especially Spurs, who have 10 players out going into this game. I think we're going to get a draw between these two sides. I think they're going to continue to fail to win. Why? Because I think it's going to be quite a nervy affair. I think no one's going to really want to take the risks because they're worried about conceding up the other end. Because this game is so massive for the relegation battle, I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw between Spurs and Forest. Something that could affect this game as well is Europe. Both sides are in Europe going to this game, and Forest are playing a day later and away, so that might affect them in this game away at Spurs. So then we're ending the video with the League Cup final prediction, which is between Arsenal and Manchester City. Two sides in opposite form going to this game. Arsenal are flying. They've gone through the Champions League quarter-final. And their recent form in the league basically means they are now going to win the league. If you look at Manchester City, their last couple of weeks, they've been poor in the league. And they've now been dumped out of the Champions League by Real Madrid. And they're not looking like the side that they were sort of a couple of weeks ago, where it looked like they could challenge Arsenal for the title. So I guess the question is, where can City get at Arsenal? Well, the pressure will be on Arsenal. They are the favourites going into this game, and they haven't dealt with pressure that well under Mikel Arteta. This season it's been better, but it hasn't led to anything yet. The key word being yet for that. Something that will be interesting for this game is what keepers do both sides decide to go with. I wouldn't be surprised if both sides play their backups over their first choice keeper, because we see this happen a lot in these cup finals. I think Kepa may well start over Raya, and I think Trafford definitely could start over Donnarumma, and I would say Trafford's a lot more reliable than Kepa. So maybe that's an area where Manchester City can get at Arsenal. As well as this, Arsenal don't have an elite number 9 like Erling Haaland. But despite this, I still think Arsenal are going to win. Why? They're so much better defensively. They're playing with a lot more confidence. And I think City's just a bit lost right now in terms of what they're trying to do. It's very complicated and none of it seems to be working. I think I'm going to go with a 2-0 win for Arsenal. A score prediction, I often go with Arsenal because often what happens is that they go 1-0 up and then sort of they sit in for a bit and then they find the second goal on the counter and they win. I think the same thing's going to happen in this game. Let me know your thoughts on these Premier League predictions as well as the League Cup prediction. And if you enjoy this video, go subscribe to the channel as well as liking the video.